All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. That right there is the 2025 Honda Goldwing, and I'm going to say something that I think is really controversial. Is it worth swapping out my Harley Davidson Street Glide CVO for this Honda Goldwing? Is it time to do it? Let's go test ride this bike. More importantly, I've got wifey here with me. She's going to get behind me, and I'm going to give you real-time impressions of what it feels to ride this bike with a pillion. That is a major point of contention, us riding the Harley, and the only reason why I'm even considering swapping my Harley for this Honda Goldwing. Let's take it for a spin. All right, so wifey's getting on. The seat, what do you think?
I thought it was going to be softer.
You thought it was going to be softer, yeah. So it's still firm, right?
Yeah, it's a firm seat.
So is it any less firm or more firm than the Harley seat? Same.
Obviously, I feel like I'm on a couch.
Right, so you feel like you're in a couch, first impressions. But one of the things that she noticed is the seat is very hard. And that's actually something that most of the reviews that I've been seeing, people say about the stock seat on these Honda Goldwings, the seat is firm, which can be swapped. So we're going to just take it out for a quick spin. I have it on sport. I've never ridden a Honda Goldwing with a passenger behind, so I'm going to give you my real-time impressions here. And then we'll talk about why I'm considering making the switch, if I'm going to make the switch. And frankly, I'd love your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think about changing from a Harley to a Honda Goldwing? Would you do it? Have you done it? Leave it down in the comments below. All right, let's go. I just heard wifey say it's 100 times more comfortable than the Harley, so man, this thing moves. One of the things I noticed right away is the space between the pillion and me on this bike. A lot more distance between the rider and the passenger, where in the Street Glide, at least mine, it feels much more cramped. It's so smooth, and it has a lot of power. Look, it doesn't have the torque that I feel when I hit the throttle on my Street Glide, even with wifey in the back. But this thing's got plenty of power, plenty of juice. I have it on sport, which is the setting where it's going to be the quickest. That suspension, you see that wishbone suspension right there, best in class. There's the riding position. Feels so comfortable, so plush. For me, the seat is very, very comfortable. We had already taken it for a spin, so I'm only giving you a piece of the video. We were testing it right around here. The dealer was nice enough to let me take the bike out for a ride. I've done test rides on Goldwings before. I absolutely love them. I think it's a completely different feel. One of the reasons why we're considering is, you know, we went for a long ride on the Harley and it was super uncomfortable for wifey. And I've been thinking about it. The bike is 5 years old already. It's still in mint condition. So I think that was the final straw that broke the camel's back in terms of my my point of view on seriously considering swapping for this bike. And I'm taking it out now for a test ride just to see. We're going to pull up right back here to the dealer. Right in here. right, I'm going to return this bike back here, and then we're going to get back on my bike, and we're going to talk about what I just experienced, what I think, and ultimately what I may be potentially doing. And again, I'm going to want your thoughts and comments down in the comment section below. All right, so let's talk about what I just experienced on that Honda Goldwing. I'm back on my 2020 Streetlight CVO. Man, there is just nothing like it. All right, so just to summarize, you know, the title of the video, obviously where I'm at here. We went for a ride on the Harley, and just wifey was really uncomfortable in the back. I don't know what it was. Never happened before, but because of that, I said, you know what? I have this bike to ride with wifey, and yeah, I take it out on my own, but this is the bike I typically take out when her and I go riding. And if she's going to be uncomfortable with it, then it defeats the purpose. And like I shared before, I've been really considering other options, the Goldwing being one of them. I am waiting to see what the 2026 CVOs look like. I like the road glides. And I said, you know what? It's time I go test this bike out with wifey, which I did, and you just heard the impressions. Even though the video was short, I got a chance to ride it a lot longer. I just didn't really show it in the video. So I got a chance to really test it enough just to make some general conclusions. I always like to keep my options open. And I'm going to tell you, gotta watch out for this deer right here. I don't know if you saw it, just almost came out. It's the time of the day. So to start off, I've tested the Goldwing before. I loved the bike, but it was not the touring edition, which was lighter, and it was by myself. And man, I just love the bike. I love the power delivery, even the torque, lower end, high, all of it, the comfort. Just an amazing bike. I'll leave that video up here if you want to check it out. I will tell you, with wifey behind me and I guess the touring bike, which is heavier, to me the bike felt very underpowered in the low end. Like, as an example, right there. And with wifey in the back of this bike, you almost do not feel the difference. I mean, there's some, but you hardly feel the difference with the pillion behind on this bike. And why? Because these bikes have a lot of torque and are made to have the torque in the lower end of the RPM range, especially the setup that I have here. And I was, you know, frankly, I thought the impressions are going to be, I was going to love it, it was going to be great, I was going to add the Goldwing to the channel, but man, I'm just going to tell you right here, I'm not doing it. And one of the main reasons is what I just talked about. To me, the bike feels underpowered with a pillion and that touring edition. I get it. It's a personal preference. It's a personal opinion. We're all entitled to it. I want to hear your thoughts. Have any of you ever tried it with a pillion, especially coming off a Harley like this? And do you notice the same thing that I notice? Because again, if I was just going into the Goldwing on my own, not having this as a comparison point, of course the power would be plenty. You even heard me talk about it in the video. But I'm comparing it because obviously I've had this bike now for 5 years. And I love the power, I love the feel. It's important to me. One would argue, why the heck do you need that if you're just going to be touring? It's not a matter of a need, it's a matter of a want. And it's what I like and it's what I enjoy. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm not going to be making the switch. second reason, yes, you do have more space, but once again, maybe it's because I'm so used to this handlebar setup, I just felt like very uncomfortable in that Goldwing stance. Mind you, it's one of the most comfortable touring bikes ever made. And look, it is. The suspension, everything is great about it. But again, just keep in mind where my point of view is coming from. I'm coming from this, considering to switch to that. And I just, wow, another deer crossing the road. And look, I think you could put risers on it, you could change the handlebars. But I was just not wowed. I wasn't impressed. It didn't knock my socks off. And that's really what I was looking for. Because look, it's going to take a lot for me to actually, you know, bring the other bike in. And I'm not going to have 4 bikes in the garage. I mean, I could for a while. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't even have enough time to ride the 3. Why am I going to add a 4th? And this bike, I love it, you know, and I've always said it. It's probably going to stay there, even if I consider other bikes. But since since wifey was not comfortable with this one, I said, look, it's going to really depend on how I felt on that ride and how she felt on that ride. But for me, it just wasn't enough there. Now let's talk about her feedback, because you heard her talk about it. Of course, she loved it back there. It feels like a couch. It feels like you're floating on air. I mean, there's nothing not to love about that. It is the most comfortable touring bike made. More than this, more than the BMW K1600 or anything else for that matter. In that category, it just cannot be beat. So, if I was solely going based on wifey's feedback, then of course I would be switching it. But however, it's a mutual decision. It's got to be a balanced approach. And for me, my perspective, it's not that it's weighted more, but obviously I spend a lot more time on the bike. And it just has to knock my socks off. It didn't. So that's the perspective there, including, you know, some of the positive feedback that wifey felt back there. Here's the third reason. Once again, when you get up and close to that Goldwing, and there was one Goldwing color combo that I actually think looks great, and believe it or not, I already had put a deposit on this bike. That's how sure I was that I was going to get this done, and I have completely changed my mind. Deposit is back. It's just not going to happen. We will see what happens in the next 6 months. Sandstorm is staying in the FLY&RIDE garage, but my point is, the quality and the craftsmanship of the Honda Goldwing is still subpar. Even on the nicer colors, even on the newer anniversary edition, they just don't have it down packed. The aesthetics, the look, the feel, it feels plasticky. It does not feel premium. Man, just slight subtle changes. They're almost there. But they're just not. And this last one is obviously subjective. I just think these Harleys, especially when you start comparing it to the new ones, Road Glide or Street Glide, to me, they're just a better looking bike. And don't get me started on just the culture, how nostalgic you feel when you hit that throttle and that engine, that V-twin just grunts and pulls. There just isn't anything like it. I am just convinced. Yes, there are other great bikes. Yes, there are other options. I have some of them already. But when it comes to this, and especially like this, the seating position here, everything how I feel, it is just perfection based on my needs. And those are the reasons, ladies and gentlemen, that I am not switching to a Honda Goldwing. And there may be a time where I do it, but I am at least several years away. So that's it. That's the experience. That's my perspective. Look, I know plenty that watch the channel that actually have made the switch. There are some out there that are doing some great things on the Honda Goldwings. I'd love to hear, if you're watching the video, Leave your thoughts and your comments down below. But man, for me, I've thought about it. I've done several videos where you hear me contemplating it, and I'm still coming back that to me, there is no other bagger. There is no substitute. Not an Indian, not a Goldwing, not a BMW K1600. Those are all amazing, amazing choices. But in the traditional bagger category, you're looking at it, ladies and gentlemen. My humble opinion. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I'm going to give you a nice walk around of Sandstorm. I've got the spot that I typically go to. It should be a nice sunset there. We do a nice walk around. And I hope you're still enjoying these videos with what some may call a relic. I sure as heck am. I actually think this bike looks better than the new Street Glides. In the newer models, man, I love the Road Glides. It's Road Glide all the way. I don't like the Street Glides. I don't like anything about it. In terms of the feel, the view, the cock, all of that stuff, Road Glides it. So, if and when I consider another Harley, it's going to be a Road Glide. Now let's see what they come up with in 2026. Oh, by the way, the other point I wanted to make, which again I thought was interesting, I wanted, you know, obviously I was ready to sell this bike. I had made a deposit on the Honda Goldwing. I mean, that's how close I was to making this decision. And I actually put this bike for sale in Facebook Marketplace. And I thought I had put it at a reasonable price. And yes, there was lots of views. 3 people contacted me. And nobody made an offer. Now granted, this is the end of the season here for the Northeast. It's not a time to sell the bike. But still, my point is, I thought this bike is brand new. And for the price point that I had it at, and by the way, I had it at $29,000, I think it was that I posted it. I even lowered the price to, I think, $25,000. And still, no one came in and said they were interested. Now look, I've had separate offers of people that know this bike, that know me, that of course I've turned down, right? There is an amount that in my mind I feel this bike is worth. And if someone is willing to give it to me, I am willing to have a conversation. But for now and for the foreseeable future, once again, Sandstorm is staying in the FLY&RIDE garage. This road right here has got a bunch of twisties, so I'm not going to say much. I'm going to let you enjoy the sound and the views, and then when we get to the spot, I'm going to do a nice walk around and we'll wrap it up. The roads are still a little bit wet, so we're going to have to take it easy around here. Look at that road. Oh yeah. I love that road. All right, let me go give you the nice walk around for you right now. Give you this nice view with that sun hitting it, that color, which is called sand dune. Just looks freaking awesome. Oh yeah. All right, so there you have it. Nice little walk around, beautiful sunset. Sandstorm is staying in the Fly and Ride garage. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thanks for watching.